Good day, everyone. I am Omalaye Philip. I'm here today to teach you the basic fundamentals of MATLAB. But before I continue, I have some basic questions to ask. Are you really in need to learn MATLAB? That is number one. Number two, are you overwhelmed by the tools and buttons in the software? That is question two. Then, at this point, you are in the right channel to learn. Let's get started. Before we continue, we'll talk about the development of MATLAB shortly. It all started in 1970 by Clive Muller. However, in 1984, Clive Muller with Jack Little and Steve Baggett rewrote MATLAB in C and formed a company known as MathWorks. They decided to reprogram MATLAB and market it for the IBM desktops that, as at that time, were trying to replace the mainframe computer. Later on, John Little and Steve Baggett further reprogrammed MATLAB in C to create additional features such as the core MATLAB programming language and also develop features for toolboxes. Now, in this course, I'm going to take you through introduction to MATLAB. As you can see from the screen, the MATLAB screen, the MATLAB systems, MATLAB environment, characteristics, advantage, disadvantage, application area of MATLAB, and we also talk about the competitions where you can download MATLAB or get help, and your first impression when it comes to issue of MATLAB. What does MATLAB stand for in the first instance? MATLAB means Matrix Laboratory. That is the simple form. Now let's go into the introduction to matrix. As you can see on the screen, MATLAB is a modern programming language environment that is designed for high performance mathematical computations, visualization, and programming in an easy to use environment with hundreds of built-in functions for technical computing, graphics, and animations. It has refined data structures, which include built-in editing, debugging tools, and support object-oriented programming. Most especially, the major building blocks of MATLAB is matrix, and the fundamental data type of MATLAB is array. This fundamental data type can further be grouped into vectors, scalar, real, and complex matrix, which are automatically handle the special cases of basic array. From the diagram that you are looking at, MATLAB happens to be a multi-paradigm programming language. What does that mean? It can support multiple types of programming approach. One can write MATLAB code in procedural, in object-oriented, in functional, or in imperative manners. As you can see, a paradigm means characterized the size, the style, the concept, and the method of language for describing a situation or a process and use it to solve problem. The MATLAB system consists of 5 main elements, which is the development environment, the mathematical environment, the mathematical function library, mathematical language, the MATLAB language, graphics, MATLAB external interface / API, and lastly, that is the last. Yes, I think. Now let's start from the development environment. This development environment happen to be the facility or the tools that is put in place to facilitate easy use of MATLAB functions. These are basically graphical user interface, which include the MATLAB desktop, the command windows, the command history, an editor, the debugger, code analyzer, file exchange, and so on and so forth. Then the MATLAB mathematical functions provide a large number of standard elementary functions and advanced or complex mathematical functions. Then the MATLAB language is a high-level matrix array language which control flow statement, functions, data structure, input and output, and object-oriented programming features. Then the graphics. MATLAB has extensive facility to showcase vectors and matrix as graphs, as well as annotating and printing of graphs. It is capable to use it in 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional image processing, animations, data visualizations, and presentation of graphs, as well as low-level functions that allow you to customize the appearance of your graphics. Now let's go into the environment of MATLAB. From the diagram you can see the MATLAB environment is a very simple environment, but we are going to talk more of this environment when we enter into the part 2 of MATLAB. That is when we'll talk majorly about the layout of the MATLAB. Now from the environment, this environment throw more light on the introduction of MATLAB desktop tools. Some vital tools are command windows, command history, app browser, current directory browser or folder, work browsers, array editor, and editor or debugger, and so on and so forth. In the current folder, this is very important. Any file you want to run must either be in the current directory or window or in the search part. Then when you look at the command windows, the command window here is just where you enter the variable, where you run functions and MATLAB files, which is known as end files. Then on the other inside the command windows, you will see what we call the command prompt. This command prompt is with the 2 greater than signs that is readily available to accept command from the user. Then let's look at the command history. All code entered in the command windows are logged in the command history windows. In the command history window, you can view previous used functions and copy and execute the selected line of code. Now we are going to talk more on this when we enter into part 2 of this lectures. Let's move into the characteristic of MATLAB. As you can see, MATLAB as dynamic memory management. Therefore, there is no need to define in advance the name or the type of variable like we used to do in C and in C language, C++. Then the second one, MATLAB developing environment support all modes. MATLAB support not just only interpreter mode, but also support two-stage classical translation. Then at that point, you can execute your program. The execution of program becomes faster. Then the third one is the time needed to develop program in MATLAB is very low. When you look at that one, is very truly very lower than in case of programming in C, Pascal, and Fortran. The fourth one is the translated code is not transferable. When to some other programmers, to other microprocessors like such as a PIC, HTML, and so on and so forth, as it is possible in translated code, that alone can be seen as one of the drawbacks of MATLAB, because all the code cannot be transferable. Then the fifth one is MATLAB interpreter is not a classical translator as case of C. Truly is like that. The interpreter translates every single command that is in a row and execute it immediately after by the confirmation of pressing of enter key on your keyboard. But in the case of a classical translator, the user has to write the program, complete the program, and translate at first stage, and then in the second stage execute it. Last but not the least, MATLAB developed environment allow users interactively. The environment is very friendly. That is for that. Let's go into the advantage of MATLAB. The advantage of MATLAB, as shown, ease of use, quick to learn, and good documentation. The language is very simple, easy to use, quick to learn, with excellent documentation. It can be used to evaluate command line expression or to execute large pre-written programs with built-in integrated development environment, and also debug using the MATLAB debugger. So be rest assured that MATLAB contains an integrated editor and debugger, unlike documentations and manual that can assist you. Then the second one is the platform independent. MATLAB supports several computer systems such as Windows, Linux, Macintosh of different versions and different flavor. Application written in any form platform can run on another one. At this time, program written in MATLAB can be shifted to another platform such as Mac operating system. The third one is predefined function and easy symbolic manipulation. It comes completely with vast library of predefined function that provides tested and prepackaged solution to many technical tasks. For example, statistical activities are associated with some inputs and set of data. So in most language, you need to write programming from the subroutines, functions, then before you start implementation of the calculations, maybe such as mean value, standard deviation, medians. But all these and other hundred of services are built right there in MATLAB. So it makes the job more comfortable and faster to do. Then the teaching and the research. MATLAB is widely used for teaching and research in universities and industries. Millions of engineers and scientists worldwide use MATLAB for a range of applications, including deep learning, machine learning, signal processing and communication, image and video processing, control system testing, and others. Over 5,000 universities and colleges worldwide, over 3 million students, professors, readers, and researchers have access to MATLAB at school with total academic headcount license. Then the other one, device independent plotting. MATLAB has basic plotting and image command. The facility makes MATLAB an outstanding tools for visualizing technical information. Then graphical user interface and excellent display capability. MATLAB possesses powerful tools that allow users to interactively design a graphics user interface with brilliant display capability for the programs. It supports processing of images and display them in 1D, 2D, 3D format depending on what you want to use it for. With this capability, the programmer can design data analysis program that can be operated relatively by inexperienced users. Last on the list is the MATLAB compiler. MATLAB MATLAB can adapt to different platforms by producing MATLAB application into a machine independent P code and then interpret the P code instruction at runtime. A separate MATLAB compiler is available too, which can compile MATLAB processing programs into a real executable file that can run faster than the interpreted code. It is a great technique to convert a prototype MATLAB program into executable suitable for sale and distribution to users. And let's go to the disadvantage of MATLAB. Disadvantage of MATLAB. Here we have like 5 disadvantages of MATLAB. The first one is interpreted language. When you talk about interpreted language, what does that one mean? Interpreted language in MATLAB is the first drawback of MATLAB, and therefore may tend to execute more slowly than compiled language like C, C++, and so on and so forth. The second is the cost. A full copy of MATLAB is 10 to 20 times more costlier than the usual or the conventional C or C++ or Fortran compilers. In that case, though MATLAB is very cost effective for businesses, however, but individual finds it very expensive to consider purchasing it. Fortunately, there is also inexperienced student edition of MATLAB that you can purchase. Then the third one is the single function deficiency. MATLAB accepts creation of different files for different functions compared to other program language that accept a single file for multiple functions. Then the error are not much informative. Those are some of the drawback, but at times you have to go extra mile to figure out errors yourself. Then last on the list, we have the consume space and memory. MATLAB require a fast computer with sufficient amount of memory and space on your hard drive. This will definitely add to the cost of individual willing to use MATLAB. Let's go into the application area of MATLAB. As you can see on the screen, I've listed some areas where you can make use of MATLAB, but MATLAB is built around MATLAB scripting language, and this scripting language is revolved based on mathematical concepts such as variables, vectors, and matrices, structures and functions, functions handles, classes, object-oriented programming. Well, let me lay more emphasis on the application area of MATLAB. The first one is image processing and computer vision. This entails the processing of raw images and get them ready for other tasks such as computer vision. On the other hand, the computer vision look at the image like human eye, in which an algorithm is always there to build a vital image processing and computer vision. The use of MATLAB program to analyze is majorly used to analyze images and build algorithm without stress. Then control systems. There are some factors that we need to consider in control systems, such as closed loops, open loop, controllability, observability, both plot, Nyquist plot, etc. can also be obtained in MATLAB. Various control techniques such as PD, PID, PI can also be visualized. Then the third one is the test and measurement. MATLAB provides tools that you can use to acquire and automate tasks. Once you acquire data, you can exploit it and perform visualization and data analysis. Visual modeling can also be used to solve modern day problems. Most importantly, MATLAB reduces development time, eliminates design problem early, and streamline testing and verification. Then the fourth one, we have financial analysis and mapping. In this situation, an entrepreneur, before starting an endeavor or business, needs to do some background check, such as proper survey and financial analysis in order to plan the course of actions. Although mapping in this regard has multiple applications in various domains, such as theft analysis or fraud, financial fraud detection, predicting techniques in social media, data monitoring, regression model, contingency analysis, etc. can also be done by data mapping. These tools that we call MATLAB can do all this, can perform all this function based on the element or indicator use, such as profitability, solvency, liquidity, stability, business valuation, capital, budgeting, cost of capitals, etc. can be identified and evaluated conveniently. Then the fifth one, when you look at Internet of a Thing, is one of the most recent technology in the universe now. It is a network of devices, vehicles, home appliances, and other embedded and others embedded with electronics and software, sensor, actuators, and connectivities which enable exchange of data. MATLAB is capable of designing, prototyping, and deploying of Internet of Things applications such as predictive maintenance, operational, let me say, operational optimizations, and even supervisory control and etc. Then the sixth, let's look at the data analysis and the predictions. The data analysis is the process of studying data in order to gain insights. Engineering, IT, scientists, and other users are using MATLAB to build big data analytic system. Also, MATLAB can be used to build predictive maintenance toolbox. As predictive, also to provide tools for labeling data, designing condition indicators, and estimating the remaining useful life of a system. Then this is the seventh one. We have the robotics and mechatronics. In MATLAB, robotics can be used, well, although let me give you a little insight into robotics. It's an interdisciplinary field of science and engineering, while mechatronics is the technology that combines electronics and mechanical engineering together. Though mechatronics and robotics researchers and engineers use MATLAB to design and fine-tune algorithms, model real-world systems, and simulate all this in a single environment. Then the number 8, we have the statistic and machine learning. The statistic and machine learning, such as descriptives or inferential, can be implemented using MATLAB. So in case with machine learning and deep learning too, as you can see, deep learning is a broader family of machine language which can be used for speech recognition, financial fraud detections, medical image analysis. Then MATLAB can be used with other tools such as time series, artificial neural network, fuzzy logic, or combination of such tools as available to explore. Then the embedded system and control system. The embedded system are computer system consisting of hardware and software components and are always designed to do specific tasks such as embedded system, automobile, cameras, and industrial machines. With the push of one button, MATLAB allows you to generate code and run it on the hardware. Then there's control system toolbox in MATLAB that provide algorithms and apps for systematically analyzing, designing, and fine-tuning control systems. Then we have second to the last, we have the computational biology and computational finance. Computational biology is a study of biological data for better understanding of biological systems and relationships. Why the computational finance is the study of financial data and financial modeling. MATLAB in this regard helps by solving ordinary differential equations that model biological behaviors, as well as finance suits that enable you to develop quantitative applications for risk and investment management, insurance, and econometrics. Last on the list is the digital signal processing. The digital signal processing use digital processing such as computer or specialized digital signal processors to perform a range of signal processing operations. Theorems can be validated in MATLAB and analyzed through time domain or maybe frequency domain. Use of MATLAB can produce a lot of signal processing techniques to analyze time series data, several transforms such as Laplace transformation, and maybe Fourier series can be done too, and also provide a unified workflow for development of embedded systems and streaming applications. Let's go into the competition that we notice in the recent time. Well, the alternatives or competitors can be grouped into two categories. One, open source alternative. Second one is the commercial competitors. The open source alternatives are usually free to download from the internet, such as Julia, Scale-Up, RLab, GNU Octave, and Sage. Why the commercial competitors are sold to users? Examples are Mathematica, IDL, and Maple. The Mathematica has symbolic computation program which has a superior symbolic manipulations, making it popular among physicists. Among other languages that treat array as basic entities, that is array programming language, are X language, APL, Fortran 90 and higher version, as well as the statistical language of R and S. Then we can download MATLAB from different platforms, but this is the official website of MATLAB, www.matlabworks.com/store. We have different options there. We have the license option, we have the standard, education, student, and homes. You can download free to go for any of the trial version or download the student version so that you can use and practice. 10,000 of students get their own MATLAB copy of MATLAB every year by purchasing one of either MATLAB Student or MATLAB and Simulink Student Suite. These are the areas that you can get help. To get help, you can type help at the command prompt and it will take you to assist you. You can type doc and the command, and there are extensive forums and other sources where you can get help. Then type doc or use the menu bar to open the user app. Then you can as well type demo to watch some videos of some of the activities you are looking for. Then the first impression, now have it at the back of your mind. The first impression is that everything about MATLAB is all about matrix. MATLAB does not need any variable declaration, no storage allocation, no pointer. Have that one at the back of your mind. Programs can be run step by step with full access to all variables and functions. In conclusion, MATLAB is a user-friendly language equipped with different functions to help You perform different mathematical functions with a wide range of applications in several industries, as we have discussed under application area. Thank you and God bless. Subscribe to this channel so that you can receive our notification when I upload the next video. Stay tuned to the part 2, which happen to be the practical aspect of using MATLAB. Thank you. God bless.